All right, welcome to our team call for the month of May. Prayers that this does not die again, but wanted to welcome everybody and say we're so excited that you're here. We're popping in the chat all the shout outs. So if you have someone to shout out, or if you had a win from last month, I know you had a win, pop it in the chat. And then we're going to go ahead and kick it over to Hannah. Actually, there's two Hannahs that are going to share. Let me click it back to speakers to gallery view so I can see who's all on. But Hannah Scholl, I see you first. Do you want to go first? She ranked up to gold
Sure.
last month. Okay, so tell
For
us who
the
you are and all the things.
Okay, hi guys. I'm Hannah Scholl. I live in KZ. I am a mom of three, and I'm a personal trainer, and I have a fitness app, and I also help my husband run our company. I got started on the products in October. I've always supplemented and tried to live a healthy lifestyle, but I was 1 year postpartum back in October, and just what I was doing wasn't working anymore. I was getting frequent, like sick all the time. Every month, my kids would bring home something from school, and I knew that that wasn't normal for me, and I was exhausted all the time. I had really bad muscle aches and pains, and just didn't feel like all of the healthy things I was doing was working anymore. So I decided to reach out to Brandy and give Plexus a try because I assumed that my gut was a wreck. And I was right. It immediately made me feel better. I did go through some detox, but I felt like a new person afterwards. So I was sharing with my inner circle and my family just what I was doing because a lot of people I knew were feeling the same type of way. So I'm like, hey, go to Brandy and get on what I'm doing because it's changed my life. And she reached out and she said, listen, let's just have a party with your close friends, and maybe at the very least you can get your products paid for. I was not interested in sharing at all. So it took me a few months to agree to that. But I had a party, and that night I went Fast Start Silver, and I was able to get some friends on the products, and I got my first paycheck, and I got the fast start bonus. So it was like $300. And so I was excited. I said, well, at least I can make enough to pay for my monthly products. And that was my goal right at that moment. I wasn't really in it or joining for the business side. And then I posted on Facebook, and things kind of changed after that because I had a ton of people reach out to me, just flooding my messages with like, oh my gosh, I feel the same way. I can relate. And so I got a lot of people on products that way. And that's kind of when my vision changed a little bit. I saw like that there was a need for the products. And so I decided I was going to go kind of all in and share. So um, the last couple of months, I've just continued to share and get new people on products. And I helped my mom this month get on the products, and she had a party. I helped her go Fast Start Silver at her party, and which in turn helped me rank up to gold. And so I felt like I wasn't really trying that hard, but like I don't know, I just and following up with people, and people ask questions, and I'm getting them on the products, and I somehow hit gold. So now I'm like, I feel like I have a fire kind of lit under me, and I'm setting goals for like a bigger vision. Because in the last couple of months of sharing, I've been able to make $1,600. So I went from not wanting to make money doing it, to now like knowing I could pay for groceries. I could, use this as our fun money. My kids are really busy in activities. So it's been great. It's been a great cushion for us. Um, I think my top tip for anybody who's new to sharing, just be yourself and share your heart and be honest. And I think like being vulnerable about like how you're feeling and why you got on products and how it changed your life really helps people relate. And that's how I've been able to get my L1s, and just following up with those people because I really want to form relationships with them and get to know people and know like what they need and how I can help them, and always just keeping that in like the forefront of like wanting to help people versus make a sale, because that's really what it's about. And then the money will come I think. So that's my tip. And I haven't been doing it very long, but that's kind of what's been working for me so far. And so yeah.
I love that. Thank you for sharing. And so congratulations on your gold bonus also, which you're going to get a payout for and be able to bump up that commission number too, which is so fun.
Yeah,
So
that's
what's your next goal?
my next goal is senior gold.
Okay.
So I'm now I think my next move is to help like my VIPs and the people who are interested in the business rank up to silver and be more efficient that way. So I have
My Abigail keeps coming in. Oh my goodness. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you, thank you. And have you worked through this yet? Because that will give you some big clarity.
yeah, working on it.
Perfect. Okay. All right. We're going to go ahead and kick it over to Kira. Are you on, girl? Let's see. It looks like Hannah, the other
I'm here.
Hannah's on. Okay. All
I
righty.
didn't know I was going next. Okay.
Okay. Well, I don't see the other Hannah on. Hannah Clark, if you are on, I don't see her, but maybe she'll pop on here in a minute and she can share. Okay. So Kira, we want to hear your story of Senior Gold.
Okay. Gosh. Okay. I have this all written down and like mapped out, but here we go. Okay, so I actually started, okay, so let me start with this. I have Hashimoto's. A lot of people don't know what that is. A lot of people do. It's an autoimmune disease. My thyroid basically doesn't work. Well, my thyroid didn't work. Let's clarify that. So I had started the products with Madison Ambrosetti. I have been friends with her. I've known that girl since she was 15 years old. I used to teach her Pure Barre and stuff. So I'm quite a bit older than her, but anyway. She is my Plexus person. And I had started the product probably, I think maybe a year or less into the Hashimoto's. And my body was at first I had no symptoms of Hashimoto's, and then my body took a deep dive and my hair fell out really bad, like to the point that my husband was like, "Are you gonna go bald?" And I was like, "I don't know, maybe. If I do, I'll be ready a lot faster. We'll just throw a wig on and go, right?" So I was not well. And I had started the products, and I happened to be one of two people that Madison knows that cannot take the bio cleanse, period. And it was more than that. I wasn't mentally prepared. I wasn't like, so I stopped, which we all have that story. A lot of people do. So I stopped the products. And I've been chugging along, trying to like figure out how to get better. I've been on medication, and we played this yo-yo game of, oh, your levels are too high. Oh, your levels are too low. Oh, da da da. And this is how I felt constantly. And it's hard to explain to people how you feel when you have Hashimoto's, because you look normal, but you feel like your body weighs 1,000 pounds and it's hard to make it move, right? So fast forward to last June, I had actually started seeing a preventative medicine doctor, and she had put me on a couple of supplements. And she was more about my blood work, more about how I felt, didn't put me on prescriptions or whatever. She was like, "I think you should stop eating gluten." So this is where it all started. And I was like, okay. She goes, "It flares autoimmune diseases." So buckled up and stopped eating gluten. It was not fun. Started feeling a little bit better. The supplement she had me on, it was a little bit better, but like I was still like missing, I was still not feeling good. I didn't feel like myself. I still like, so December rolls around, this past December 2023, and I was talking to my friend Mary, and we were talking about Plexus, and I was like, I think I'm gonna get like back on the products, but I just want to baby step, because I'm a baby stepper, right? They had all these other things at the preventative doctor's medicine, like that they wanted, they were supplements, and they were like, "Oh, this good." And I was like, no, because like I react weird to certain things, clearly the BioCleanse. So I was like, I'm just going to start with the Slim and the collagen. So I started in December. Fast forward to the beginning of February. Did my blood work, because they're always doing my blood work. And so for those of you who don't know, when you have an autoimmune disease, your antibodies is what says you have an autoimmune disease. So your antibodies are high. I was told for 5 years, your antibodies will always be this high. You will always take medication for the rest of your life. My antibodies were over 3,000 for a steady 5 years. They never changed. In February, she looked at me and she goes, "What are you doing?" She goes, your antibodies are under 1,000. They've never, ever, ever, ever changed, right? And I was like, plexus? And she goes, don't stop. And I was like, okay. So I love that she's like supported that, right? And that was kind of like a little bit of like like an aha moment. And I kind of felt this like nudge, right? So I owned a kids boutique with my best friend, and she had like confided in me that like she was like, I can't do this anymore. She had a 1-year-old, has 2 boys. Like she lives in Florida, I'm here. Anyway, so that was kind of shutting down. And like we were like, okay, we're gonna close this business. And I just kind of felt this nudge. And I was like, because I'm a realtor. So I didn't say that. Okay. I live in Saudi Daisy, Tennessee. I'm a realtor and I make wide brim burned hats. Somebody called me a serial entrepreneur, and I was like, oh, is that a thing? That's me. Hi. Anyway, um, so I kind of felt this like nudge to like, I was like, oh, what if I said to Madison, I want to work the business? And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. And like I pondered this for a couple days. And so I went to Madison and I was like, so what would it look like if I wanted to work the business? And she like, I could see it on her face. She wanted to get excited, but didn't like, she was like trying to like play it cool. And she was like, I think you'd be great at it. And I was like, okay, well, my plate's kind of full. And I know you've heard this story, Megan. And so I was like, I'm going to think about it. And this was still kind of the beginning of February. And so Madison tells Angie Ambrosetti, she's like, Kara's thinking about working the business, but she said her plate's kind of full. And Angie Ambrosetti said, tell her to get a bigger plate. And I said, dang it. Challenge accepted. So I got a bigger plate. And I signed up to work the business February 24th. And between February 24th and the end of February, which was a leap year, thank goodness, I hit silver and senior silver. And then in March, I hit gold, and April, I hit senior gold. So I've only been doing this for 2 months, technically. So that's the fast track to that. The short version of it is I started it because of my Hashimoto's, and that's how I've been able to relate to people. And then also I would just encourage anybody who is like, oh, like, because people have said to me, like, how did you do that so fast? Find your why. Like, why are you doing this? Why are you like starting this business? For me, it was I wanted to help people because I started encountering more and more people who had Hashimoto's, and like I could have a conversation with them and they're like, oh my gosh, you understand how I feel. And then like the other thing is I would say find your people. Like start with your friends and family, and then just like be strategic about who you talk to about it. And don't be afraid to just talk about it. And I joke now when I talk to pretty much everybody. I'm like, well, I accidentally started another business, because they're like, how you doing? And I'm like, oh, good. I accidentally started another business, started a plexus business, and kind of just, and people kind of laugh at it, and then they're like, well, what's plexus? And so, that's how it's kind of evolved to like now. But I would say like be very strategic in who you are talking to. I talk about a gluten-free lifestyle. I am a homeschool mom who homesteads and likes pink and likes to get her nails done. But like I make sourdough bread, I make my own laundry detergent, I like do these things. And like I try to relate to people. Like I talk to people who I can relate to on things, because if you can relate to them in everyday life, they trust you. And then they're going to trust what you say about plexus, right? So I would say find your niche. Like if you're a busy mom, talk to busy moms. Like if you're getting married, talk to people that like are getting married. If you make sourdough bread, talk to people that make sourdough bread. Like, and have chickens. Listen, I want chickens. I want the bougie farm. That's another reason I'm doing this. I'm gonna wear pink overalls when I go collect eggs. That's just where we're at. Okay. Like um so yeah, I would just say whatever situation you're in, like find someone in a similar situation and talk to them, and they're going to be open to the conversation, and you're going to come across less salesy. You know what I mean? Because people want to, like, they want you to hear them. And we have a tendency to like want to tell our stuff, and we do. But when you really listen to people and let them talk, sometimes it's okay to just be quiet and people will talk. And I learned a lot of like these things from real estate, but sometimes if there's an awkward silence, that's okay because they'll start talking and they'll start saying things and it's going to be like, oh, well, and like you can really like have conversations. I think that was that all that's left in my notes? Oh, another thing I was going to say, be consistent with getting feedback from your customers. So that is something that I do with my team. Every Wednesday, we check in with our customers, and it's a different text every week. Like, and it can be a copy paste text, but also it could be like specific to each person. But like, give me your feedback. What are you feeling? Like every time I've had somebody on a reset, I've gotten some interesting feedback. Like heat the bar up for 10 seconds and it's so much easier to eat. And I was like, what? And like mixing like the soups together and different things. And then like, and everybody's different on the products. So I just feel like getting feedback and having that is huge. And I would just also say like, don't bombard people with too much information. It's okay to like leave them hanging. Like if you're in a text thread or a message thread, like you don't have to throw everything out them because like we're obviously excited and we want them to do the things, but like it's okay to like let them come to you. I have people that I'm nurturing. I have people that were like, all right, I want the products, let's go. And I was like, okay, let's go. But then I have people that like I just talk to on a regular basis and like they'll bring it up to me. I don't even have to bring it up. So I don't know, I just meet people where they are. So hopefully that like I don't know, helps you guys or covers things.
Yes, I love it. It's so good to hear everyone's perspective and stories. I love your system for Wednesdays. That's such a great idea because then it sets the tone for then the team that you're developing and creating because Wednesdays are your check-in days. Sorry, it's giving me feedback. And then what is your goal? What's your next goal?
Oh, Ruby.
Ruby, awesome. Pop in the chat if any of the rest of you are going Ruby this month, pop it in the chat because we want to celebrate all the Rubies that are planning to be Ruby this month. Okay, fabulous. Okay, well, we're going to kick it over before we end our call. We're going to kick it over to Mary so she can share her story with us.
Hello. Well, they did a fabulous job of looking you straight in the eye and just like saying it, but I'm going to sit here and check my notes so that I don't go off the rail. So first of all, Megan had to give me a little bit of form so I could actually put my bullet points in because I just felt like the question of tell me your Rankup story was just like, blah. So God, this is definitely his story that he's writing. So I'm going to try to guess at what he's doing and reflect on what I think he's done and try to tell the story as I see it. So I got started because from November 22 to November 23, I had a new allergy or injury every single month. My health had, similar to Hannah, had declined since having babies. And I just thought this was my body after kids. And I was about halfway through that year of solid, something new every month when I realized I don't think this is my fault. I had realized that I was actually, we were doing like Dave Ramsey budgeting. So it's like our grocery budget and our cooking and stuff like that was fueled by, what we were doing financial. So it was very consistent. Sorry, I have like alarms coming off on my phone and Messenger and Watch. But so I had been very steady at working out and eating as my body was able to and doing well. And I just realized I think something is in my gut doing it. I had started to see the Plexus Girls post and I just thought, I'm not doing this to myself. I'm not self-sabotaging. And I think something is just radiating to the other parts of my body. So I started watching all the Plexus Girls posts and they were educating me on their products. And what they were offering me was hope that aligned with my, naturalist upbringing, whereas nobody else was offering me this kind of hope. So finally, after 6 months of watching, I made the decision and contacted Madison, my sponsor. So, why I started the business. About 3 weeks into taking the products, I was feeling the results, and that's when people started noticing a difference and asking what I was doing. So those conversations didn't immediately turn into referrals, but I did start to see that it looked like it was going to be just my husband. So I figured I might as well get the most from my referrals, even if it was only 3, because like I said, I'm a Dave Ramsey girl, like we're budgeting. I did not have the true business mindset, but I would have definitely considered myself a professional, like direct sales dabbler or consultant kidnapper, and just figured that, you know, since Plexus doesn't really have a kit to buy and it's free, the joke was on them. You know, I'd make a little bit of money. So how I ranked up so quickly at first, I think it was simply because I shared a little bit on social media, and people noticed the difference in how I looked and could start putting the connection together. It was about 3 weeks from my first post to when I added my first VIP. So I wasn't really going after the sales. I made my first post because I was in the 2-week slim down challenge and they offered a $25 gift card. So at that point, it kind of put it together to me that people were starting to ask anyway, or they were starting to make up their own stories in their mind of what I might be doing. And I wanted to be the first one to put that out there about what my story really was and what was going on. So that's what fueled me to, instead of write the little half sentence, you know, clincher post that would have been all I needed to do to be entered into the drawing, I just wanted to put it all out there, about what was really happening. And so after adding my first, I added 2 more over the next week and a half, and I'm sure that boosted my confidence, even though, again, like, sure, I was kind of hoping it might turn into 3, because that's when you got $300 instead of like 20. But I didn't really have a goal at that point. So I think that just boosted my confidence to the point where I was willing to post more. And then towards the end of the month, my team, like Kira mentioned, Madison was ranking up. We were all on this crazy team that, you know, like Kira joined right then. That's really honestly when I started sharing. You know, I had gotten my 3 before that. And so it was kind of like, well, Madison might rank up if we all, you know, kind of share this thing. So we did. And I went gold in my first month. And I didn't know how special this was because I've never been with a company that sells a highly consumable product before. So I've never been praised like that before for having 17 customers. Like, that's not usually a big thing in other companies. And so honestly, I thought it was fake at first. I thought the praise was, and the excitement was a little bit like, I don't know, just fake, you know, rah, I don't know, fake cheerleader, just what it felt like. And then I realized they weren't being fake cheerleaders, and they really were excited, and we were all excited, and this was fun. And actually me saying that out loud right now reminds me that there was one moment when we were all kind of like, I think it was the last day, or maybe it was the next to the last sale that we did right there before the end of the month. And everyone's like, added one. This is, you know, and I'm going, I don't know what I'm doing, but maybe this is fun, you know. And Angie called me immediately. She was like, what questions do you have? And I was like, all of them. So after that, let me see. Yeah. After that, I ranked up, I think, because I was willing to push past my fears to overpost. And Jessica Heffley did a training where it was, that would have been early March, right after I ranked up what feels like by accident. I started paying attention to the trainings and stuff that were available. And Jessica Heffley said, you're not posting too much. You're actually not posting enough. So that changed my mental algorithm for what I allowed myself to do. I also think that how I treat people outside of my business and how I have conducted myself as a sister in Christ and a business owner, because I'm a hairdresser too, and a neighbor my whole adult life. I think that matters just as much, if not more, than what I have done or shared in the last 2 months. Pretty much the only fear, or the biggest fear, that just constantly stands out in my mind that I had to work past was what I just said about the posting. That was definite. Jessica's tip helped, but I could always go back to my truth about what attracted me to Madison and made me choose her was the fact that she posted consistently and she was always educational and kind. And so I figured if that's what drew me in, that I could maybe at least be that for someone else. 3 tips that I had for someone who wanted to go fast start Ruby. Surround yourself with people that want to grow. If nobody is mentoring you, then go find your mentors. Ask a lot of questions and ask the same question 50 times if you need to. And then the last one was, don't set your goal for the end of the month for the goal that you actually think that you can get to. Shoot higher, because mindset is everything. And once you get past feeling like you're going to be a failure, then you can actually take the action steps that don't make you look like a failure at all. The first couple of months, saying even the next rank made me just about like literally feel green. And this month, it wasn't hard at all. I just, like, the month closed and it was like, okay, time to reset. And I didn't make it to Senior Ruby by the end of the last month, but it made absolutely no sense for me to shoot for Senior Ruby because I was only like 13 orders short last month. So it was enough that it didn't feel within my personality to push at the end of the month to do that, but also was not at all a reach for me to put that out there to the world. So for all that anyone who doesn't know Plexus knows, Emerald is the next thing after Ruby, according to my posts. So that's all I got.
So tell us what your next goal is.
Emerald.
She's going for Emerald this month.
So I'm about 162 orders away.
Okay.
So there we
How
go.
are you going to do it?
Huh?
How are you going to do it?
Definitely what I always can go back to of just like, have I done this today, is have I posted. In fact, while y'all were talking earlier, I was like, I don't know if I posted today, so I better go on there and put a post up. Just to someone's training said, keep posting, it says your open sign is on. So so always, if nothing else, if I can't do anything else in the day, just put a post up. I also, right now, I cannot mentally bring myself to get to your training and in that accountability group because I don't have the bandwidth yet. I left way too many things not tied up with pretty bows. Like I in the last couple of days, I have not had anyone tell me, you forgot to Venmo me for the sale for the last day of the month. But I feel like there has people who I have not Venmo'd, and there's definitely people that, you know, like Kira said, she does her weekly check-ins on Wednesday. I can't seem to get my people all checked in at the same time. So it's a rolling, like, there's enough of them that I haven't checked in on recently enough that I can't think about doing the higher skill things that push the business if I can't control where I am right now. So I just have to tell myself, for, you know, it may just be a mental slowdown for a few days. Hopefully it's just a mental slowdown for a few days, but I've got to make sure if I can't take care of people well at this stage, then I don't need to be higher yet. So I just need to get a grasp on making sure that I'm serving everyone well and that everyone can go to the bathroom. And then I will do the other things.
And you have people on your team ranking up too, right?
I do.
And that's what's key in order to go Emerald, is to have
Yeah.
people on your team that are also passionate about sharing with people and or working the business. So I hear that you and Candace are both in the running for Silver Stars because this girl developed 13. Is that right? Is that the right number?
Yes, yes. And I'd like to give them a little tip or a hint about that too.
Okay.
Now that you say that about developing silvers, they don't have to say that they want the business for you to develop them.
Mhm.
Actually, I don't know if this is frowned upon or encouraged or would even serve you well, but it served us well and we don't feel cheated by it. My strong leg is Candace, and she basically jumped in right after me and just, she didn't want to work the business, but she wanted something for free. And there she went, just running with it. But for whatever reason, God has put us together multiple times for not small reasons in life. And we have such a similar mindset that last month, I didn't even have to say my plan out loud to her. She just had the same plan of from the same base for some people underneath us. We had definitely wanted to work and we're motivated to share or talk to people. We also had, I say, half of the people that we were developing and promoting at the end of the month were people who told us that they were going to have to go zero PV that month because they couldn't afford the products, but they were willing to post with us and join in the group. I named it Magic Week because none of them know what Magic Week is. And we talk about that, as a joke. And so basically I just tried to hype up, something I've said multiple times is sometimes we have to make this look more fun than it is. And it is a lot of fun, but there are moments where it's like nobody is at this sip and see yet, but maybe if we post a picture together, they'll be here in a few minutes. And they were, on the last day of the month. And so we took, and then I had another lady who called me middle of the last day of the end of the month, and she said, "I'm so sorry. I think I accidentally just messed up your husband's leg. I accidentally turned on Ambassador." And she had 2 family members under her. And I said, "You didn't mess anything up. Go get a third and get $300. And she did. So sometimes it's just, for us, it was the fact that me and Candace were both like-minded in we didn't care every single person that came to us asking for the products went under us. We just wanted a few of our people to make $300 so that maybe they could be more consistent. And no, we're not going to do that every month. We're not going to give those same people 3 every month. But I feel like 3 people under them was the fuel for them to either say that makes a difference in this for me, or I'm going to drop off anyway and we're going to know. So we still have those people on our team.
Yes, exactly. Love it. Okay, this has been so helpful. Oh my goodness, I hope everyone that's listening is taking notes fast and furiously. All the girls have done such a great job. I wanted to just call attention to a couple things before we switch over to our coaching call. But the girls that shared tonight, did you hear what they do as a vocation? We had a realtor, a fitness instructor, and a hairdresser all on sharing their Plexus business stories. And so those of you who are listening, and even you girls, don't discount the entrepreneurs and the business owners and the fitness people in your life, because those are great people to go and share the business opportunity of Plexus with, because they already have a client base and a friend circle that they can share Plexus with. And so just wanted to mention that. Also, the incentivizing for sharing, that is a fantastic idea. I remember Mary sharing how much that really got her used to posting. Even within our Slim Down Challenge, we did that little, pop your selfie in. And so it got her used to posting. And then we did that little, hey, if you post on Facebook, we'll give you or do a drawing for a $25 Amazon gift card. And that has gotten people posting every single month. So take that idea and run with it with your own chats or challenges that you're doing this month. And then I love how she said to reset the goal quickly. Okay. Don't sit on last month's wins without resetting the goal quickly. Yes, tie up the loose ends with whoever needs the incentives or, get your thoughts collected. But quickly reset the goal because the month is rolling. And lastly, I just thought she had such a great mention about the 95% of this business is mindset. It stops and ends with us, really, as people, as we relate to ourselves, which reflects in how we relate to others. And the 5% is the actual action. So we're going to wrap this up, throw a bow around it, and start our coaching. 1 second here.